Hey everyone, it's BDevine. I hope you're happy and well wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoy just sitting here having these chats, and glad to see so many people are starting to come into the chat and sort of chat with us as we're going along. I hope that you're okay with the Mercury retrograde. We know that Mercury is the planet of communication and technology, etc. So this is why when it's in retrograde, we do tend to have some issues going on. But also the same thing could be said for having a spiritual energy shift, right? So let's just see everything as being positive. The other thing about the Mercury retrograde is the fact that it can be a time when things are found out, or things that come to the surface, or things finally get resolved. And there are a lot of issues going on right now. I can't mention a lot of those things here on YouTube, unfortunately. I actually had one of my videos taken down, which was unlisted because apparently of medical misinformation. So it was because we were using the name like of the V and jib jabs. We were talking amongst ourselves about who's had what and how you feel and all that sort of stuff. So I just ask that we use the code words whenever we're chatting or on this channel, so that I can keep this channel available for those who are just finding me for the first time. And if you are, welcome. I hope that you will enjoy all of the videos and information that is here for you. So we have this Mercury retrograde, okay? We have these changes in the air, and I want you to be aware of your emotions as we build ourselves up into the full moon energy coming up on the 16th, 17th, depending on where you are. And this is our first full moon of 2022, and it's a Cancer energy, which is focused on the home, family life. It is also Cancer, so it is emotional. And I will talk more about the energies of this. Of course, I'm going to do a full moon video, right, where we go through it all as well, okay? Today, I kind of was torn between two things. So obviously, I want to do a soul message for us all from the Crystal Mandala Oracle. So the reason that I use this one is because it's where we are as a soul, and sort of just some information that's very positive, uplifting, and to the point, rather than, wishy-washy kind of information. So I really love that. And I'm also going to talk about the angel Zacharial. And this is a particular archangel that is connected with surrendering our energy. So we're going to look through this as well, and I'll read this chapter to you. So what's happening right now is I am getting really excited in a couple of weeks, just over a couple of weeks, beginning the Light Leadership Academy. And of course, you guys anybody can join. You don't have to have any special qualifications or anything like that. But I wanted to point out that, you can pay this off in installments as well. But you will have to contact me about that, because you'll have to make a deposit, and that is non-refundable. And the reason I'm doing that is because my gut instinct tells me not to allow installments, because I've been burnt so many times before, when I've allowed that to happen. And I'm not saying that everybody's the same, but, I had to sort of be careful of this. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I really want people to be there, so it's kind of hard. So I have to make it a deposit. You'll have to pay a deposit, and then, you'll have a certain amount of time to pay off the rest of it. And you'll have to talk with me about that as well. And your deposit will be non-refundable. So you're going to want to keep up with the bargain, okay? So we have this starting. It will be at a platform called Teachable. It's a really good idea to just download the app so you can listen to the information and watch the videos. I also have a Patreon page specifically for the Light Leaders Academy, so that if somebody can't see something on the Teachable platform, or they can't download their PDF or whatever it is, it'll all be also copied in the Light Leadership tier on Patreon. Okay, so I'll put a couple of links down below for all of you. And if you do want to pay something off, okay, and you want to talk with me about that, you must email me about it, and then I can set up an invoice for you that you can pay off over terms. Okay, we'll have to work out what they are, and then you can get started. So I just want to be able to help as many people as I can to begin a new journey of thorough teaching and true therapies for people, and the reason I'm so passionate about this is because everything is changing. So coaching, I'm your life coach. Well, you know what? There's a million life coaches out there, and unless you're Tony Robbins, you're not getting anywhere with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people can have a great, life with it, whatever, but there's more to it. So you might be a great life coach. Well, you can expand. You may be a great healer. You can still expand. You may be a great psychic. You can still expand and incorporate a lot of different aspects of someone's life and livelihood into the training. And therefore you'll have it all in front of you. And, if you get stuck with something, or someone has, I don't know, complexities of PTSD or something, you're going to be able to know what to do. Okay. Now, if you went to a reader, for example, there's a handful of readers that are really good. All right. But if you went to a reader and you said you have PTSD, they wouldn't know what to do, for the most part. Okay. I know some people out there going, well, I would know what to. I'm just saying for the most part. Okay. There's a lot of people that have a lot of amazing knowledge, etc. as well. So, but the thing is that if you put this into a perspective of 2022, all the BS that we've been through, right? All the drama that people go through, all the defense mechanisms that they have. And if you don't know what they are, you're not going to be able to fully help somebody, okay? And there's ways to do everything, and I want to share it all with you. You do semester 1, then you've got to pick and choose of whatever else you would like to do and what you would like to then focus on. And I will continue to upload training for you as we go through. Quantum healing hypnosis therapy, my method of it. My method of Egyptian healing, my method of actual just healing, angelic healing, my methods of channeling, becoming a very, very accurate medium, psychic, etc. And how that differs, and why that differs with certain people and how they're doing things. Some people might just I just want to be a channel, excellent. You'll be in the right spot. Semester 1 will set you up, and then you'll be able to go off and do whatever you want after semester 1. You might not need any more training at all. And then you may say, okay, I'm really interested in this Egyptian healing or something, right? Shamanic healing or whatever it is. And you'll be taught, as we go through. So it'd be great to have you there with us at the beginning. 31st of January is when we start. It's when it sort of opens. And I will be talking with the students just before that date. And you'll just have videos to watch, and you'll be able to do question and answers with me at the end of each section, right? So it's going to be awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I just wanted you to know that it was a hard decision, but I will offer you guys a way in which you can pay things as you go, okay? So that being said, I want to get into the energy of Archangel Zacharial, all right? Now, this is by Kay Maroney, of course. Now, I'm going to read this, and then obviously what I do is I give commentary on it as well, all right? So, okay, Zacharial means the remembrance of God. When you surrender, you're remembering that you are a fragment of God or source or whatever you want to call it. Deep surrender opens the connection with your higher self, which is your personalized manifestation of an important aspect of God. The greatest illusion we face is that we are the small self of our everyday life. We get trapped into believing that we are the emotional baggage and images assembled from past experiences, right? We start to believe, in other words, anything bad that's happened to us is because of us. It's all of our fault. Could have done something differently. And we live our life in this constant flux of coming and going and stressing out, right? Be willing to surrender the ego and its collection of small-minded, critical, negative beliefs that separate you from others and from the love of God. So the more the longing that you have, the more wanting that you have of something, the more stress that you have, and you just want things to change, the more despair you have, the more problems you end up having, right? On so many levels. So we need to remember that we are always connected to source energy. We are it, and we can therefore do anything that we want. And part of this journey and part of 2022 and part of my own journey is to empower you, because I've been there, right? I've been at the bottom of the barrel more times than you can imagine, just scraping through, suffering all of the time, and telling myself that too. Oh, why do I always go through this? Why is this so hard? Oh my God, I just want my life to be so much easier. And oh my God, I'm always scraping for money. And I was just always going through this cycle myself, right? Which is why I'm so passionate about you getting the hell out of that into a new life, right? A new experience, a step on the other side of having all of the things work out for you in your life, okay? The thought of surrender is frightening at first. If we have no experience with this, we can only relate to a feeling of helplessness and vulnerability. When there has been no personal experience of the presence of God or any recognizable answers to prayer, the concept of surrender seems dangerous. The power of faith acts to help you leap into the unknown. Your faith in the angels, a power greater than yourself, the ultimate truth, Jesus, or whatever is meaningful for you, provides the bridge. Gradually, one experience at a time, you begin to feel God, your higher self, or the angels in a personal way. You recognize their presence and receive answers to prayer. Your trust grows as you learn to communicate and feel their power. At times, you are united with your higher self, bringing your desire for oneness into reality. You might also experience unity with others. In these moments, your soul rejoices, for this unity quenches the thirst. Oh my God, now I've lost it. Okay, quenches the thirst that nothing else will satisfy. Later, the energy leaves and your walls of separation return. See? Once more, you feel alone, abandoned, and separate. Okay. Surrendering is about choosing to tear your walls of separation down forever, to enter into eternal oneness with God, Source, to make that decision, right? No longer do you seek God to soothe your pain. You're not saying, God, take this away. Oh God, why is this happening to me? Oh God, you must be really hating on me. I must have been terrible in past life. I just have one thing after another go wrong. Oh God, you've taken away my person. You've taken away a family member. You've taken away my sister, brother, dog, whatever it is. Oh God, you know, why? Okay. And it's like you're always looking at God to fix something, but then you're like, well, you're not going to do it because you keep taking crap away from me, and I'm just being punished. And maybe it's me, maybe it's my past life, maybe you know, it's only certain people that are able to connect. It's only certain people that can do. It's only certain people that suddenly have a healing, a release, a change in their life. It just doesn't seem to be me. And I keep on trying. And I keep on trying and trying and trying, God, but nothing seems to happen to me. Right? And it's because you have a separation with God, Source, Allah, Jesus, whoever you want to talk about. To me, it's Source, okay? Because it's just everywhere. And you're expecting that Source is going to listen to your complaints, to listen to your negative vibration and do something good with it, right? Because in your head, you feel like you need to plead with this higher power to set your course straight, to change things for you. And this gives you a separation from what's really going on here. So in other words, you, and I'm going to continue with this in a minute, you are a part of what they call Source, or even energy. Okay, if you want to talk about energy or whatever, if you're scientifically minded, energy is everywhere and you're a part of it. Okay, therefore, if you are a part of it, you have a part to play in the decision making of your life. You have a part to play on the healing that occurs. You have a part to play on finding the right person. You have a part to play in finding the right place to live, to go, to find the right job, to fix your body, life, etc., history. Because if God is a creator being, if God is creation, if Source is creation, and you are an extension of Source, then you are a creator as well. So therefore, expecting something else to come in and change everything for you will never happen. That is just, you're just going to be playing a waiting game and then hating yourself even more because you don't see it coming even when you've asked. You've asked for this help and assistance and guidance. You've asked for changes. You've asked for people. You've asked for money, right? And when you don't see that come in, then it's because God's not listening to you. You've been naughty. You're a sinner. You know, you've done something wrong. Instead of saying to yourself, if I just accept that what I declare in my life will occur in the divine timing of everything, and it's my own divine timing, not someone up there keeping eye on the watch like, okay, now, right? Okay, it's your own divine timing, because things that you do in your life affect people who are in your life. Okay, so it has to be right for everybody involved in the ripple effect of your change. Okay, so there's so many people that are constantly talking in this way that they don't get what they want, and it's because they are a bad person, and that has been mirrored by the way that people treat them their whole life. So if you've been treated like a piece of shit your whole life, okay, and I will just say little swear words or whatever in there, but if you've been treated that way your whole life, and then you're growing up and you still have problem after problem after problem, and then you're in a relationship and there's problem after problem, and then you lose a baby, or you lose this, or your parents die, or it's just one thing after another, then it's only natural to think to yourself, well, God's not going to bless me. I'm just some kind of, baddie. I've done all kinds of crap that's wrong, and I've had all kinds of crap that's happened to me. I don't feel the connection of the divine with me. helping me. I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in any of that stuff. So why would that happen? It's because you are expecting someone above you to make or orchestrate changes in your life instead of taking the bull by the horns yourself and saying, the way that I've thought about myself has continually put me in positions of failure because I expect that. Deep down, I expect failure to happen to me. And when it does, it's like, aha, there it is. I knew it that this would happen, right? So you're expecting failure, you're expecting loss, you're expecting rejection, you're expecting abandonment, you're expecting stress, you're expecting the wrong person, you're expecting to get ripped off, you're expecting things not to work, you're expecting that everything's going to suck, you're expecting 2022 is just as bad as 2021, you're expecting that you're going to mess up somehow and you won't pass or you won't get the money or you won't have the thing. You're just expecting nothing but the negative to occur to you, and guess what? That's exactly what you get. There is no person who is more important to source than anybody else because you're all extensions. It's equally, right? The only difference between someone whose life has been sucking and someone whose life, is always going around in circles is the way that they think about themselves and the way that they see God in their life, in whatever form that is. Because some people see authority as their father, for example, and maybe that was a letdown. Maybe they were abandoning you as a child, and maybe they weren't there. And you just see Source or God or Jesus or whatever as someone who's not there, only sometimes, or only when it's time for something bad to happen. Okay? And this just gets to me because I know that this was the point that I came to many, many, many years ago in my life. When I sat there and I'm like, oh my God, I am worrying about nothing. If the worst was to happen in my life, I know that I'll be able to handle it. How about that? And it was like this big realization of, oh my God, you don't need anyone or anything. And in fact, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Empowerment is key. Looking at your patterning of events that have happened to you, and instead of going into another form of blame, where you're like, oh, okay, then I'm wrong again, and I was doing that all wrong, and poor me. That is not what I'm getting at. The energy here is to show you that if you are an extension of the divine, if you're an extension of Source, of God, of Jesus, of Allah, of whatever you want to believe in, okay, that means that whatever you say goes, that whatever you think starts to happen, that whatever is, you've experienced in your life, instead of being a punishment, has something that you set up for experience and for growth, so that you don't have to come back here again, unless you want to, okay? The idea is every single lifetime we have this magical idea that we are not going to come back anymore, and we're going to get it right. I'm going to come down to earth, and I'm going to change everything, and I'm going to fix everything from my past, and I'm going to find all the parts of my soul, and then I'm going to just blow this joint, and I'll just be someone's spirit guide. That's what we think, right? Then we get here, and we're like, oh, geez, we forgot. We have the angelic realm with us constantly. Our guides, the angel, everybody is like walking with us. So as babies, you see babies looking off past your shoulder, and that they can see the angels and stuff around you like clear as a bell, right? And when they get about 4 or 5 years old, this is when the angels and guides decide to step behind the veil a little bit in your life. And then it's up to you to remember who you are. This is why many of us can't remember much about, before the age of 3 or something like that. We can't remember much about it. okay? Because we have an amnesia kind of a thing going on. Because it is part of free will that we figure out what we came here to do. We figure out our connection with God, Jesus, Allah, Source, okay? We connect with our higher self. And the angelic seed, which is in each one of you, okay? It's like I call it a seed, but it's like a diamond, like having a crystal inside of your heart. And what happens is that when you finally just start to open up randomly to spiritual things, it might be cards or oracles, it might be crystals that you're working with, it might be a profound change that happened to you. You're broken down on the side of the road and someone just pulls over and helps you out and randomly leaves again, right? There could be all kinds of things that just suddenly spark that opening of the angelic seed. Then the seed begins to sort of open and glow on the inside of your being. And you awaken inside of yourself the elemental beings inside and the angelic beings, the mythical beings, all beings that you've been connected with before, finally get life in a different way. And it's because of this opening of the seed energy or the filled keys and open keys, etc., whatever you want to call it. And we start on a new pathway. We forget though. There are times when you forget and you get all, stroppy and upset and, frustrated with life and the world. When's it going to end kind of situation going on? And then fear kicks in. As soon as fear kicks into a person's life, it is your worst enemy. It is like pouring acid on the inside of your body. So if you imagine what acid can do, eat away at everything, that's what starts happening to you when fear kicks in. And fear is not even... If you just decided, you know what, when I get afraid of something, I'm going to talk myself out of it straight away and remember my power, remember who I am, and remember that I am always connected and surrounded by a spiritual light team that has my back. So when I get afraid, that is a trigger to call everybody in closer, okay? And it doesn't mean that you'll never be afraid of anything again, but you'll very quickly get yourself out of it. If you set in your life reminders, like a little post-it note, you're worrying about that again, and what do you think you should be doing? I hear my own bloody voice every now and then. What do you think you should be doing now, Becky? Really? That's what you're going to do? I'm like, I'm kicking my own butt, So anyway, it's very important what I'm talking about here. And it can really begin to, if you can listen to it enough and you can really grasp it into your head, and I'll keep on talking, then what will happen is that your life will just magically change for you to what it should have always been in the first place, okay? So the Almighty becomes your beloved, and everything your prayer is, take me, God. It is my will that your will be done in my life, because you're working together. It's not a separate thing anymore where God's all the way up there somewhere and, asking him a favor is like, you don't want to disturb him or whatever. And you're not even sure whether he's going to be listening anyway. So you feel a tremendous amount of relief as you give up the fight to stay separate and relax into your higher self. Your higher self is that part of you in spirit that is always sitting next to God, Source. It's always there. It's always in the all-knowing, in the void, as they call it, in the vortex of higher dimensional energy. That's where your higher self sort of sits, knows everything. Bit of a smart ass, right? So the suffering that was the result of resisting your destiny leaves, and a surprisingly deep joy takes its place. You give up you give up wanting your life to be a certain way and allow Source to direct you, right? Because you're working together. It's no longer separate. It's no longer getting permission. It's no longer, Source hates me. Excuse me. Whenever I'm getting stuff, you'll notice that I hiccup. I have to clear my throat. It's like it's all there. The big surprise is that you will end up with a far more incredible life than you could have ever imagined, right? This is the key. If you haven't been doing this, this is your key. The essence of your higher self is big, and your destiny will lead you to do big things. If the illusion of unworthiness holds you back, remember it's an illusion, pray to see how it traps and holds you down, right? Ask for clarity on that. It is insidious the way it can infiltrate, weaving a tangled web that seems impossible to fight. At those times, your ego is trying to control the energy. Call to Zacharial to help you simply let go and receive the will, your own will, the will of Source. This surrender is a razor's edge. Your feelings are important and are a guide. Love would not have you surrender to be a puppet, being told everything to do. Those who make you feel less than you are or insist that you must override your feelings to do as they say are not acting from love, right? It's just acting from control. Your true feelings are your connection to God's will for you. Sacrifice and suffering are the result of opposing that will and not the form of surrender that will take you to truth. Sacrifice involves denying your feelings. It leaves you enraged at yourself and the person who demanded the sacrifice, leading you to experience guilt. If guilt has you believing that a certain behavior is expected, you may not even realize that you are angry. I'll read that again. If guilt has you believing that a certain behavior is expected, you may not even realize that you're angry. Wow. True surrender is good and feels like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders. You never have to surrender that which truly belongs to you and fills you with life and joy. Evaluate life. Don't honor your feelings, or do you honor your feelings or sacrifice your truth as you submit to the control of your small self and your collection of habitual behaviors? Be willing to let go of your attachment to everything, your family, friends, children, job, home, stuff, activities. Just disconnect. Everything in your earth life is always temporary. These attachments pull you down. And it doesn't mean just walk away from your family and that. It's like disconnect all of the need to do, have to do, want, or gotta do all these people first. It's never going to work. You cannot hide from this energy. Putting yourself last is never going to be anything that helps those family members that you're trying to help so desperately. It's only when you surrender, you allow, you accept, and go through all of the ascension attributes: gratitude, surrender, acceptance, alignment, forward moving, putting yourself first. These things are the only things that help your family. Because while you're trying to stop and do, and they're getting all of this help, they don't learn anything either. Sometimes to be separate is the only time people learn, and if they don't learn, then they're not meant to. It's their journey. It's their life, not your responsibility, right? This does not mean give everything away, leave your family, and join the homeless. Just enjoy and use what you have without being owned by it. Find a new level of relationship and with the people you love and care about. What is truly good for you is also good for them. As you learn to surrender, you'll be filled with the eternal love you crave, and gratitude will flow through you in waves as the three ascension attitudes unite. Your mind opens to receive a wisdom beyond understanding. All your desires are satisfied. A oneness with others begins to emerge. You are not losing yourself, you're gaining yourself, becoming who you truly are, and finding everything for which your soul hungers. Whew. There is a pianist and a composer, and his name is Raphael. And you would really probably love at some point, you don't want to do it just when you're cleaning the house or something, but when you're trying to just really surrender, perhaps listening to the album called Music to Disappear In, and Volume 2, Music to Disappear In by Raphael. And you may just cry because it's really, really beautiful, like the whole thing. But this is something where you say, you know what, I'm so tired of fighting myself and being angry with something that's actually a part of me, something that I thought was controlling life, because that's what I've been taught, and I was taught that way as well, that we are all sinners, and, we have to get favor with God in some way. And certain people are more able to do that than others. Priests are the only ones that can speak on your behalf to God. And I just find that absolutely nutty. And so there's all these little, you have to jump through all of these hoops before something can happen. And I think that it's ingrained in us, even if we weren't religious, because we've been religious in the past as well, past lives, etc. And we have limits, and the world puts limits on us, going to school and stuff. Going to school as a younger person, there's the smartest kid in the classroom, and the favorite kid, and the sporty kid, and the hot kid, and the kid that's the best looking or the most developed or whatever it is, right? Hierarchies are everywhere. There's no, like, the normal way forward in our life is to strive to be the best. And when we're not, we're the last, If you're not first, you're last, kind of thing. If you haven't gone to school, then you're stupid. When, it's just another form of control and order, I always encourage my kids to read books. And, I'm so happy that if you were to speak to my sons, they're highly intelligent and their vocabulary's there because of books and things. But science is their thing, and as much as I'm like, I have to just lead by example, they see that as well, and sometimes we try to force someone to see our point of view. My sort of teaching for you is to say to you, look, I've been in both ways, okay? Probably more times than you can imagine, and in really bad situations, throughout my life, childhood, whatever, just really screwed up situations, okay? And I know what it's like to be a person that blames themselves for everything in life, everything that ever will happen, was going to happen, family members, parents, everything was this person's fault. And because of that, you have less standards for yourself in life. You will settle for anyone that's showing you any kind of kindness. You will just work your guts out at any job to get, to just get somewhere. You will overachieve and overdo everything. You will feel responsible for everybody and want to help and want to be good, just want to be doing something that's good. And this is why a lot of people come into a spiritual thing, because they want to feel accepted. And that's the problem with the normal type of spirituality. This is different. What we're doing is different, right? But in the normal type of situation of spirituality, you've got to prove yourself somehow, still, right? In this whole thing, there's no understanding or breaking down a person's emotion and how they got to that energy, and how they got to that PTSD, and how they got to those nightmares, and when that started happening, and when they started changing their mind and started to want to be a different person than they were 5 years ago, and how this all started to build, and what their relationships were like with their parents and family, and where they've been outcast, abandoned, rejected and hurt, and what that hurt then did in the choices that they made in their life. That is not what you get from regular spiritual channels, okay? You don't. This is why I know that I had to change this here, because each one of you deserve to know that, some of you are already doing it, which is awesome. But if you're just here, or you're just learning, or you're just listening, or you're just new to all of this stuff, you need to know that there is such a better life for you. There is such abundance for you. There is such joy and happiness and connection for you. But you have to give yourself a chance here. You have to be compassionate with yourself. Surrender all of your, past BS. And when I say past BS, I mean how you have blamed, shamed, and hated on yourself. Felt guilty, felt angry, felt ripped off, felt left behind, felt other people have got more than you and it must be because of you, felt like you don't have any abilities, felt like you are not able to talk to, the angels are not going to talk to you. And it felt this way. And I am telling you now, all of those things we've all felt, okay? We've all felt left by the wayside, and we've all felt that everybody else was better at what we wanted to do than us. And that stopped us from exploring it any further, right? And it was happening to me. I was like, okay, I would do this course and this course and this course, and then I might be able to do this, which was rubbish, because I could already do it far better than all of those. But because there was no acknowledgement anywhere in any of the circles that I went to, it's just, okay, you've passed your thing. And it's like, there's no acknowledgement, or, okay, you've done a good job. I was just thinking, I just have to keep doing more, because obviously I'm not good enough yet. And then the next thing would start, And it really took me this long time to realize that I didn't need anybody else's acceptance. I didn't need anybody else's well dones. I didn't need my parents to be proud of me for what I was doing. And I always thought I did. I needed them to see. I need to show them. I need to, prove that, I've got this, and it just wasn't going to happen. I could be the Queen of Sheba and my mum would go, right? She would roll her eyes to the back of her head and just see the whites of her eyes, like, oh, here she goes, right? And it wouldn't matter. I could be the president, and my dad would still be like, well, surely to God, you really need to go to church on Sunday. And I'd be like, really? This is what you see? And it just didn't matter. It just does not really matter. You've got people who won't listen. You want to shake them by the shoulders and say, oh my God, wake up. What are you doing to yourself? Why are you giving into this? Why are you doing this? Why do you hate yourself? Why do you continually speak about yourself like you are a piece of trash, and then expect a great life to happen for you? And then when it doesn't happen, you're back to being a trash again. And then you open up to something and it doesn't work because you went the wrong direction, or someone was a jerk, or someone led you astray. And then you still don't feel any power or strength within yourself. And this has to stop. because if we don't, then we're just going to continue to go around in circles and lose our technologies of our advanced ascension energy that we have inside of us. We'll just lose it and we'll just spin out and we'll just be like back to square one again, having a look at cards. I'm not saying anything about cards. I have thousands of cards, right? But to me, they give you the answers. You like to see the cards. I don't use them for myself. It's very, like, I'll have a little bit of fun with my husband. Okay, let's have a look at our Lenormand or something. But in the early days, I used to always have them out. And everything would be going by what they said, And it was really interesting because as soon as a negative card would come out, I'd go, oh no, we're screwed now, kind of thing. To myself, I'd be like, oh, I know what that means, right? Instead of changing it around. Everything has changed around now. Archangel Michael has always said to me from day dot, you can make anything positive. And I'm telling you that secret as well. Doesn't matter whether it's cards, whether it's oracles, whether it's the news, whether it's the whatever's going on, you can make it positive. You can turn anything into a positive, anything at all, right? As I've said to you before, you turn the light on, there's no more darkness, and it only takes one light bulb. That's you. You've got to understand your power that you've been born with, and we give it away. Think we're crap, think we can't do. And if you really put your mind to anything, you can do anything, and I've proved that to myself 1,000 times now. Like, I can do stuff. There was never a bone in my body that thought, oh, I'm going to play the bass guitar. There was never a bone in my body for the bass guitar. It was always the drums. Drums. And thinking to myself, that's not going to be a thing. How am I going to get a drum kit? Where's that going to come from? What's going to, I just give that up. Years later, didn't even think about it. Just love music, love listening to loud music, love having it on when I'm doing stuff, whatever. And then later on in life, my sons, my oldest and my youngest, are both drummers. My husband is a drummer, right? My middle son is a guitarist. And he turned around to me and I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Right? Since before I met my husband. And he's like, well, you can play the bass guitar, Mum. I'm like, sorry, no one's going to teach me how to play the drums. I've got 2 drummers in the house and nobody cares. Okay, you know what? I'm going to play this bass guitar. I'm going to learn how to play this big, heavy thing, right? And I am going to do it. And now I can do it, right? It took me long enough, but I worked at it and worked at it and worked at it, and I can get up there and just play something. My husband's like, what? You can play? Oh my God, this is awesome. We can do some stuff. I'm like, yeah, we've been able to do it for a while, but okay. But you know what I'm saying? It was like a determination. If someone says, oh, well, you can just do that. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not only going to do that, but you're going to wish that you never said that, because I'm going to be so good that you're going to be begging me to play it. And I'm just going to be like, no. Right? It's like a determination. If someone tells me, oh, well, just do that, or you can have that thing over there, I'll make the best of it. And maybe that comes from a life where, you didn't get anything. You got hand-me-downs, you got scraps, you got whatever it is, and you make the best of it, right? It's the same. My husband says, why don't you just use an electric mixer to mix your cake? And I'm like, no, this is the way we do it. We get the wooden spoon and we just keep on stirring and it gets all nice and my husband's like, oh my God. But I'm just like that. It's like, and I've used it now to make the most of everything that I do, reading books, writing notes, studying stuff all the time. And I'd be like, why am I doing this? Now I know, because all of this is going to be given to all of you in the school, etc. In this academy. Like, I can't even get over those words right now. I was saying to my husband, now hang on a minute. I just got to think about this for a second. And I'm like, no, I don't. It's happening. And this is going to happen. And it's going to be huge, because the reason why is because we are sick of doing everything the way we've done it. We're sick of the results we get. We're sick of not being able to do stuff. And this way we're going to be able to. And when we're ready to, let's just say there are no hospitals in the future, there are no doctors, there are nothing. Then we'll have the wellness centers, we'll have just the right people to look after you, to help you to heal, to bring you into the right energy, to shift everything out of you. And I've just seen it happen time and time and time and time again. I told you, my own cancer in my own body, multiple surgeries in my 20s, one thing after another was going on. And I refused to have it in my body. I've fallen down the mountainside. I've done all kinds of stuff that I should have broken lots of bones in my body, but I refuse that to happen. I refuse it to happen. Now, when I was younger, like you can see, I don't know if you can see, my finger is like totally broken in the top, right? Okay, it's broken. All right, it's been like that for ages. And when I was younger, I didn't think in the same way. So I'd be like, oh God, my bone's broken. And it would be, oh God, I've broke my finger or whatever, right? And that's what would happen. Now I'm like, oh no, I'm not having that. That's not happening. And you would not believe how quickly your body will just respond. It will take you a while in the beginning because you're learning how to do it. You don't really believe in it. You're just saying the words kind of thing. But that goes away. And all of a sudden you're just like, oh my God, this is happening to me. And I've changed this and I've kicked this out of my life, and we will talk, like I want my husband to come on here and we'll do a talk about, all the different things, etc., that he's learned and his life with me and what he's learned with being with me, because I'm just like that. Where's the next lot of fun, happening? What are we going to do next? Where's the adventure? And we're thinking about where we're next going to be moving to. Of course, I'm always like, the right thing will turn up at the right time, but you've got to have a look around. And it could be Michigan. It could be Michigan. And before anyone says it's too cold there, we don't care. We have 3 huskies. We want the cold. I've lived my life in a very, very hot climate, Australia. And my husband's lived his life in a hot climate in Texas. We're sick of the heat. So we want to go where it's cold, and be close to things as well, same time. So we're not sure, we're just being open, but we're looking at things there as well. And, to move into, rescues and things like that. And, learning how to do all of that. If any of you know how to start a non-profit organization and get sponsors and things like that, hey, that would be fantastic as well, if anybody knows. Because I don't know, I could figure it all out, obviously, but the United States is different and how they do things. Anyway, I'm going to do a message from the Crystal Mandala Oracle, which I love as well, for all of us. Whoops, just one second. Whoops. Okay. All right. Okay. So what we've got is the Crystal Mandala Oracle. It probably is going to come out with something that we've just been talking about. The fact that we need to surrender into this process right now. Really start to have some faith in yourself, right? Stop questioning every little thing that you decide to do and just make decisions, okay? I have people that wait for signs. Oh, I'm just going to wait for a sign and then I'll know it's the right thing to do. No, if you felt something was the right thing to do and then you're going to procrastinate by looking for signs and things like that, then that's an extra step, that you're giving yourself. And we have to just make these decisions for our life right now, whatever they are. Don't wait for there to be a perfect time to do anything, because guess what? There never is one. Right? Perfect time for everything always waits, It's just if people are always waiting for the perfect time for something to occur, it's part of your anxiety that you might have had in the past. And I'm calling it in the past because you're going into a new energy for yourself, right? Procrastination is another form of unhealed anxieties or letdowns or unreliable behavior with others as well. So what ends up happening in our life, and as we move into our spiritual energy, and I don't know what to call it anymore, I think we'll have to call it something else, because spirituality has been tainted. It has been there's dark in all the way through it. And I really just feel this sensation of ascension or ascending or whatever. Even saying those words, people they can go into Looney Tune energy really quickly with it all too. Space stuff, it can turn into Looney Tune stuff, And yeah, I don't know. I'm coming up with something. There's something else that we can call ourselves as well. Okay. So the crystal mandala energy. Let's have a look. These little cards, as I said to you, I only pull them out for these kinds of readings, or when I'm doing a reading for someone, sometimes it's like, oh, let's see where you're at, right? Just for a bit of, it's just kind of backing up what I've noticed lately. Is it kind of backs up what we've already talked about, which is like surrender, right? Changes how you see yourself and your connection with source, the divine, God, Jesus. How do you see yourself? Do you always feel like you're doing something wrong? There's a difference between someone saying you're wrong and you're bad and you've got to fix it, and saying to you, okay, these things that you used to do and going around in circles and hurting yourself and upsetting yourself, are damaging to you, and here's the way out of it. So there's a difference between saying, pointing a finger at you, which is how I felt. Now everybody's different. I felt this way throughout going to church and things like that. I always felt the finger pointed at me. And even beyond that, into family members that were religious and scoffing at this kind of thing that I do, because it's not following the book. It's not following what's been written. And I don't know what version or whatever has been written, but it's not following exactly that. So it's got to be wrong, even though the New Testament is channeled. And that's not supposed to be allowed to happen. You're not supposed to be a channel or a medium. But yet that's what the New Testament is. That's why the Jewish don't look at the New Testament. They just look at the Old Testament. But the New Testament is channeled stuff, right? How do they know that? And who's done it? And if they've said that those people have done it, disciples or whatever, then how come they're allowed to do it? There's just too many. My dad used to just take out bits and pieces that he wanted to hammer home. And it was fear, just out of fear of not doing it right. A lot of the time when I was going to church, I heard people say, well, I'd rather believe and find out that I was wrong than not believe and find out that Christians were right. And I'm like, oh my God, what a way to live your life, instead of just feeling at peace your whole life, But it's to each their own. Like, I've had many religious people come and actually get a reading in secret and say, hey, can you, I want to ask these questions. Can you help me? And I believe that what you're doing is, a good thing. And I'd be like, wow, well, thank you, And if you're happy with what you're doing religiously and you feel good in that, then that's a good thing. It's when you start feeling like crap and you feel hurt and you feel scared. I always had anxiety going into a church, as well. And I try to cover up by singing in the choir or something like that. Okay, let's go crystal mandala. Angel, Bathiel, and rose quartz, heart healing. Let's have a look. Whoops. Angel, Bathiel, and rose quartz. And 4 4s are 16. It's number 16. 4 4 4 4. Okay. This is what we need to hear today, apparently. All right, let me have a mouthful. Heart healing. Okay. Okay. We bring you the gift of heart healing. Over many lifetimes, your beautiful heart has loved and lost and loved again. You've learned how to feel joy, pain, suffering, and bliss. Your wise heart knows that life is filled with darkness and light, and it chooses to love the divine and participate in life anyway. You might worry that your heart has been stretched beyond its limit, become closed or broken, yet your heart is filled with divine grace, power, and of course, love. It can, hang on, I keep losing my spot today. It can and will heal itself to love again, bigger, bolder, and braver than ever before. Do not doubt the healing power of your heart. Remember, this is where the seed of the angel or the angelic seed is, okay? And it starts to grow as you open up into your journey. There is power in your heart to heal through struggle into joy. And your heart has the gift of helping to heal others with love. Your open, kind heart helps soothe others, bringing comfort and reassurance to the world. Trust your heart and let it heal and guide you into the most beautiful and loving divine destiny waiting for you. The heart is an incredible phenomenon. It works on a physical level tirelessly to keep your body alive. It works spiritually to integrate the messages of the universal heart of the divine into your energy field, helping you receive guidance for your life journey. The heart is your wise guide, friend, and inspiration for growth. Recognizing your heart is capable of being broken and growing back stronger and more loving as it heals is an incredible accomplishment and a reminder of just how amazing you are and how truly powerful love can be. The heart also creates its own electrical field. Without saying a word, your heart speaks volumes. It can change the atmosphere in a room, the thoughts in someone's mind, the feelings in their body, and create a container into which spiritual grace and light can enter to work its own brilliant form of healing magic. There is a wisdom to the heart that cuts through the confusion of the mind. When the heart knows something, it just knows, even if there is every reason logically why the truth should be otherwise. The heart works on an intuitive plane of insight rather than a logical plane of reasoning. It can sense the truth of a situation in an instant, where the mind can may be able to argue one side, then the exact opposite equally convincingly before ending up somewhat confused. The mind has great value and is a wonderful asset on the path, but if we allow it to run roughshod over the truths of our hearts, we will miss out on so much beauty along our life journey, whilst taking a far longer time to get to where we need to be. With this card, you have been given a layered message. Firstly, your heart is going through a healing. You're learning to open your heart and love yourself and the world in a new way. It will be a beautiful experience of greater closeness and connection to the divine. As your heart opens, there may be a clearing of old issues that have prevented it from opening more fully in the past. These issues may be fear of abandonment, rejection, disappointment, or betrayal. There may be old issues to do with trust and feeling safe in being vulnerable that arise. Don't worry or believe you're going backwards on your healing path. These are symptoms of heart healing, of letting go and shedding past pain. Even if grief or sadness arises, let it flow and be released. Your heart wants to be free to love, and it knows how to heal itself. Honor and support this process by expressing your feelings and loving yourself as unconditionally as you can. Secondly, your heart is guiding you, leading you, even pushing you through the deeper desires you feel within. It is not foolish fancy speaking to you. It is the genuine guidance of your heart, encouraging your mind to recognize your true path in life. Listen to the feelings of your heart as you begin to understand the way it speaks to you. Then you can benefit from the divine wisdom that it expresses, which is already within you, just waiting to be acknowledged. Finally, never doubt the power of your heart to heal even the most seemingly intractable, impossible situations. You must detach from the outcome. It will be for the greatest good, even if that doesn't match what you think would be best in the circumstances. But when you speak from your heart, divine healing happens according to love's wisdom. When you place your hand on your heart and speak simply to the universe, asking for healing on whatever issue is troubling you, you are using the power of your heart to trigger an outpouring of love from your own universal heart. Ask for what you need, for what you want, according to your divine birthright. See? Know that your heart is your ally, your best friend, and your guiding light. With you for your entire life, shining the truth of unconditional divine love from within. Whenever you need reminding that you are special, you are worthy, and you are absolutely loved. And that is the energy of the divine. It loves unconditionally. Even if our earthly parents have not shown that kind of love, it can be very hard to open up to something even bigger, actually supporting you and being really proud of you. Really, really happy with you and your progress and what you're trying to achieve. You know, every step of the way, you do have a cheering squad, you know, with the divine working with you. Okay. And it's about time that we accept the love energy, you know, like this rose quartz energy here. We start accepting that love energy as our new direction rather than this insidious, hateful, angry energy that we get. Even if we've worked on it from time to time, it can come creeping back in. You know, your job is to figure out your own triggers and your own emotional flashbacks, and when they come up, how this has affected you, how you feel about something. You know, I know that if I continue to speak my truth the way that I've been doing, especially this year, I'm just going to keep on going because I can't hold back anymore. It doesn't feel good anymore to sit on things, to sit on knowledge, to sit on information, and, you know, to try to do the right thing or to try not to upset the apple cart with regards to restrictions and, you know, what people are doing to their bodies and, you know, where we're at within our nations that we all live in, and how people give you the dirty look if you're not, if you don't look the same as them, and how social standards have changed, and there's certain words now that we need to use in order to address somebody in case we're upsetting them, but nobody cares whether we're upset by having to think of all of these things that we never had to think of before because someone else may have been offended down the line. And nobody cares whether you're offended by having to even think that way, which is altering your thought process in order to make someone else feel comfortable when there wasn't a problem with that energy in the first place, but it was made to be a problem. It was put in the spotlight to distract everybody from their true goal. And while we're all, looking around at what the hell everyone else is doing, we're missing the point here of our strength, our connections, and our powerful energy and forward movement that we have to continue right now more than ever. We have to heal these parts of ourselves. We have to get over it. We have to live our life, and we have to be united in that energy and let others live theirs, and whatever the hell they want to do, who cares, right? We're doing our own thing. But, having your thought process interrupted in case you're upsetting someone, or they think that you're going to upset them, or that you might be thinking that you're of upsetting them later on down the track, or you're internalizing something because of your skin color, is a load of crap and a distraction tactic by evil energy. Okay? And I respect absolutely everybody, and I don't need to be thinking in a different way than I've ever thought before, because I've got nothing to feel bad about, because my energy has all been about love, and everybody is the same. Love, and you can do it. Love, and here we go, right? And if people want to, step back, and if they want to ostracize everybody and feel separated or feel misunderstood, then they've got mental health issues. And we're all trying to get past them. And this is what this love is about. You can usually tell someone who does not love themselves enough to stand firm on whatever the hell it is, or their sexual orientation, whatever color they are. If you can't stand firm in that, then it's not anyone else's fault, And this is just a terrible, terrible thing that's happening to people. And they're being torn apart. Families are being torn apart. People are being divided. And it is not to be understanding to certain people in life or whatever that have put themselves in a category that I never had for them, but they've put themselves in that category and separated themselves from everybody else. And sadly, the powers that be are focusing on those people. And that we all, have to do the same, etc. as well, or whatever is going to happen, right? Threatening us kind of thing. It's underlying. And the poor people that have been put in this section of being different, or whatever it is that they've decided for their life or whatever, are believing that finally they're being understood, when really they're just being singled out even more. Because everybody didn't have a problem, until it's in your face as a problem that we suddenly have that we didn't have. And life is full of all of these moments where, we can go down the rabbit hole continually and want people to feel sorry for us in our life choices or whatever, without standing up on our own and saying, I made that decision and I'm sticking by it. And people will be like, well, good for you, But when they're saying, I've made this decision and I need you all to acknowledge it, and if you don't acknowledge it, then you're internalizing some sort of deep, dark hate for me. That is nuts. And I'm not dealing with that anymore, okay? I have many, many people who are from all different types of orientations, and not ever before in my life have I had to worry about how I'm addressing somebody, because it's always come through with love. And I know there are jerks out there. I know there are haters out there with different types of groups of people that they don't understand. They fear what they don't understand. And I totally get that. I know. Okay. But what's happening to us now, and it's happening under this disguise of trying to be understanding to certain people, And what's happening is that, you know, by juggling around what we say, what we do, what we think, what we say, what we do, what we think, how it's going to come across, where it's going to go, we are blocking ourselves from true power. And so are the people that they've placed in these certain situations. You know, these people want to be known as this, and these people want to be known as that, and these people are this group. You haven't said that. If you're in a group that's what I'm talking about, you haven't said, hey, what about us over here? I don't think you've said that at all. It's been put on you. And now suddenly people are putting their hands up saying, okay, well, this is who I am. And, you know, that's fantastic. I think it's fantastic if somebody has finally accepted who they really are, you know, and really feeling confident about it, right? And just living life and being left alone to do that. That is absolutely how it should be. But to be constantly reminded of who these other people are throughout, you know, where, you know, for me, I love my husband. I'm born a woman. I am known as a woman, right? I don't need to be known as a non-binary or, you know, whatever anybody else wants to do. And if that's what you want to do, that's you. You're non-binary. You're gay. You're bisexual. Fantastic. No problem. No issue. No worries in the world. Fantastic. I think it's wonderful that people can feel like they can say those things and be like that. But when it's constantly pointed out, when it's constantly highlighted, in other words, then it becomes to be a problem, because it's not about anymore about what the person's choice is. It's about what you think about the person's choice. When it's none of your business, or none of our business, what someone else's choice is. And suddenly it's been made to be this big thing that is tearing people apart everywhere, dividing households and families. And, you know, decisions that are being made by young children and all kinds of things that are, you know, they're not ready to assess risks right now, you know? And the love and the care which is pretending to be there, like, you know, from certain people, from certain leaders, etc., pretending to care about these people while highlighting them, that does not make any sense to me at all. They don't want to be highlighted. They just want to be able to, you know, move into life and be left alone. But now they're highlighted everywhere, you know? And I just feel like we're all on this journey. We're all different, but all the same, you know? And we're all connected as the human race. And we're all really trying our best here. And there needs to be some kind of forward movement from all of this division. And my feeling about the whole thing, and what I feel instructed to do, is to help you to be the greatest person you are, whether you're gay, lesbian, non-binary, or straight, whatever the hell, whatever you fit in or where you feel is right for you. I don't care. I applaud anybody for standing up for who they are and what they do. And to me, there's no problem. You're the same person as this next person and the next one and the next one. We are the human race, and we're here to help others, to help themselves. We are here to push forward with our mission of spreading light everywhere we go. We are here to help people advance, not stay dumbed down, not stay in sections. And this one is this and this one is that, and that one may be thinking that, and that one's that, and they hate this and they hate that. It's just ridiculous, you know? And again, I'm not trying to say that I don't applaud anyone who feels they belong in that certain category or whatever it is for you, right? If that is how you see yourself, then be strong in it. You know, if that is how you want to live, own it, be it. I do. I own myself and where I'm at, right? And it feels great not to have anyone acknowledge it either, you know, because it feels great within yourself to be doing that thing, to be living that life. You know, if you don't feel good about yourself, then you might need people to acknowledge you everywhere. So I think that strength of who you are needs to happen first, you know, in any aspect of your life. You have to start at the beginning. The beginning is acceptance for you, that you accept you and you don't care what anybody else accepts. It doesn't affect you, and it doesn't affect your choices to be everyone to be okay with what you're doing. That can't be a way that we continue to live and be more powerful beings, you know? It's just making you feel, in a sense, they're trying to make you feel comfortable by, everybody has to say the correct, terms or whatever it is. But really you feel highlighted and put in some kind of category that you may not even want to be in. Do you know what I'm saying? So, when I'm doing this work and, we're going to be working with all kinds of people throughout our life. And there's no place for judgment in any kind of loving and giving practice. And there shouldn't be a place for judgment in our world leaders either, and sadly that's what the darkness does, is makes you believe that you're okay and that you're accepted and you're exalted whilst tearing everybody apart around you. So you end up being there by yourself anyway, and then it made a big fuss over or whatever. So we go into this heart space of, expanding our heart space, which is the doorway to the divine, and looking at ourselves as individuals and being okay with who we are, being okay in our own skin, being okay with our life, regardless of whether someone else thinks that what you're doing is wrong, what you're saying is wrong, how you're living is wrong. Regardless, who gives a crap, right? That we just know in our hearts, whether you're whatever category you want to live your life in, that you know in your heart that you're just doing a good thing. You're full of love and you're happy with yourself, and that you're moving forward with your life, and you couldn't give a crap what anyone else is doing, thinking, or saying about you. And that is true for no matter what category you've put yourself in, white, black, yellow, red, or gay, lesbian, non-binary, whatever it is that you decide that you want to be in your life. You need to own it, and just own it and be it, and that will give you, if you don't care what anybody thinks, then nobody can hold you in a category or a cage or in down or hurt you ever again, because you're okay with who you are on every single level. And that takes a lot to get to that point. That's why I'm hoping that I can help whoever's out there listening to get to that point of power, strength, and confidence, where the sky's the limit. There's nothing you can't do. There's nothing that someone says that affects you. Nothing's going to stop you from living the life that you want to live. Nothing's going to stop you, right? Nothing's going to hold you down. Not a category, not what someone might be thinking, saying, doing, or being towards you. It doesn't affect you. When you can get to that level, you have true power within yourself. You are like amazing, an amazing being. And you know what? Other people will want to know what you've done and how you did this, and that you're so joyful in your life choices and whatever they are, okay? And you don't need anyone's approval or labels. You just live your life, I certainly don't want to be labeled straight. Okay, she's straight. She's a spiritual advisor. She does readings. Already, people go, whoa, woo woo, right? So already we're already, in some kind of weird thing, because, it's not mainstream. So these are all things that we used to do hundreds and thousands of years ago. All of this work, living in the nature, making your own oils, working with crystals and rocks, understanding yourself, through the cycles of the world of life, understanding yourself through the cycles of trees, through the weather, understanding yourself through the sky, all of that stuff, and people are too busy labeling others and and being really careful about what they say in case they're not. That is a waste of time, you know. If someone gets offended by your love and your care for them, then that's their problem, you know. That's something that they have to work on within themselves. Once again, it's none of your business either, you know. Everyone has their journey in this life, and we're finding right now a separation between people that it's not just about whatever you choose in your life on that level, on a love level, but it's also about what you choose in your life to think spiritually, educationally, or what you're choosing to see your life like. And this, you know, other people will see their life as hard, as terrible, as stressful, as upsetting. And we can't then say, well, hey, you know, try this, because they're not ready. So we've got to be it, and then people will see it, right? A poet. So we've got to be, you know, moving forward. We've got to be happy. We've got to be adjusted. We've got to be aligned. We've got to start taking care of ourselves. And then people will go, oh my God, because the proof is in the life that you have, you know? If you're truly happy with your life, it shows everywhere. You can't just pretend to be happy with your life, because it won't show everywhere else, you know? And I just think that what we have to focus on is our pathway and what that's going to look like, what it's going to be, how it's going to unfold, the excitement of it, you know, finding the right person in your life, if that's what you're supposed to be doing, you know, if that's something that you've chosen for you is living your life with somebody, that you are attracting this into your life right now, that you're making the changes necessary for that to occur for you by doing all the healing and all the work on yourself. And it's nobody's business how you do that. It's nobody's business what you're doing, other than they're going to be curious. You know, what are you doing? How come you're doing this? You know, what do you do to stay healthy? What do you do to not have to be going to the hospital every 5 farts? What are you doing, Becky? I mean, like, you know, then I can say, okay, well, this is what I do. This is what I had to let go of. This is what I had to change with myself. This is the people that I had to let go of. These are the attitudes I had to let go of, you know, the self-hate I had to let go of. And I had to learn and relearn again to be the soul that I am, right? And allow life to unfold rather than having to know what's next, you know, on the agenda kind of thing. What's next? What's going to happen? Same with the school, is that there are a couple of, at the academy, there are a couple of videos up there, you know, just introducing the academy, because it's not beginning until the 31st of January. But it's not like I have 20 videos ready to go. I have to go with the flow of it, you know, and I'll know what I need to do at the time. Before, I would have gone, oh, no. I need to have a plan going on here. What am I going to say? Where do I start? How do I do this? And now I'm just like, no, I'll know. I'll know. And that is such a relief, like inside. I want that for everybody. Just peace. God, just be peaceful inside yourself. Don't wake up in the morning going, oh, you know, what now? What's going to happen today? Instead, you know, waking up like, oh, it's going to be, you know, don't know what's going to happen today, but it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Could be anything, you know, we take dogs for a walk or whatever, and then we'll figure it out, you know, that kind of thing. And you just won't see any division or, you know, statements like that coming from here, right? As I said, you know, we have to be careful about the language that we use. So the C and then the V's and the jib jabs, okay? We know that the numbers have gone through the roof since that's happened. And if you don't believe that, then you can always look that up as well. It's like it's accelerating things, but, you know, things are also changing very rapidly this year. And as I said to you, I'll be talking about the energy of Pluto and the full moon that's coming up soon. And you can always get a reading or whatever it is that you want. It's basically a lot of it is spiritual guidance in your messages that you receive from me. And you know, this is where you're at and this is what you can do, and then you'll go there, kind of thing, if you want to. And I still have that available, but I wanted to tell you, as like I said, that you are able to pay things off. You'll need to talk to me about it though, because we have to set a deposit amount, and then you've got like 60 days, 90 days or whatever to finish paying it off. Okay. I want to see as many of you be able to do this as possible, because it will change your life and the lives of those around you, clients that you're going to come in contact with, people that are going to need us, and they need, you know, a place where they feel they are understood on whatever level that they are at, you know, and how you can then sort of determine the course of action that you need to take with your clients. It's not just messages anymore. These are, you know, it's more therapy, spiritual therapies with people, and ways in which you can figure out the problem and change someone's life. And it's like helping them to do it themselves, you know, and having the confidence to do so. So I'd love to see you guys at this beautiful grand opening of the Academy. And kind of cool that it's taking place this year as well. And I want to thank each and every one of you for encouraging me to do it. As soon as I mentioned it, I want to do that. You were all like in on it. So thank you all, and all of you for being subscribers. Some of you have been subscribers since the beginning. And I'm grateful for you all. I hope that you enjoyed the messages today, and understand how loved you are. It's so powerful, you know, and I've said before, if you actually knew how loved you were and how powerful you actually are, you'd never worry about anything again, ever. So please keep that in your mind. There's actually nothing to worry about. We have to focus on the positive always occurring. The light has already won. Told you that for a long time now. And, you know, things have got to play out as they will. It's been a long time that this control has had its hands on us, and it's going to take a long time for things to finally revert in a much better way than what it was. And help is always available, you know, and your Divine Light team is always with you, and you need to ask them to help accelerate the process if that's what you're ready for as well. So sending lots of love and light to you all. Thank you for being in the chat. If you're there, hi. If you're watching this later, thanks for stopping in and making it this far. And until the next time, lots of love, many, many blessings. Bye, everyone. Oh, but say goodbye with this hand. Okay, bye for now.